The film starts with a girl who was a nurse. After finishing her work, she was returning to her house. When she went to the lift to go to her flat, a man wearing a helmet also got on the lift. As soon as the lift stopped on the 3rd floor, both of them got off here. Then the nurse goes to her flat, and the man with the helmet goes to the flat next to her. After coming inside, the nurse started talking to her friend. She was telling him that my neighbor keeps an eye on me. While talking, the nurse's attention went to the front, where a shirt was lying, which was not hers. She had doubts that it must have been kept by the neighbor next to her. That's why she goes out of her flat in anger and starts shouting, "I am sure you will come to my flat after I leave. That's why I have installed a camera in my apartment. And now, see, I am calling the police." Now, on the basis of doubt, the nurse had really installed the camera, but she had not checked the recording of the camera yet. After that shout, when the nurse came to her flat, someone knocked on her door. When she went out to check, there was a distant voice. Then the nurse goes to check on her in her absence. There, she met a little girl. The nurse says, "Son, what are you doing here at this time of night? Go to your house immediately." After which, the nurse came back to her house. She was checking the recording on the camera when she felt someone behind her. As soon as she turned around, the same man with the helmet was standing there. Seeing the nurse, she took out the rod from her bag, on which there was blood. Seeing her, the nurse got very scared. She got up from her place and started trying to run away from there. But suddenly the man with the helmet hit a rod on his head, due to which she fell unconscious. Then he hits him so many times with the rod that he does not die. And then he hits his head, crushes his head, and gives blood. Now we see a family in which the name of the head of the family is Kim. She had a wife and 2 children, a boy and a girl. Kim had a disease, due to which she used to get allergic to even a little dirt and filth. She did not tolerate filth at all. That's why she wanted everything to be perfect and clean. One day Kim gets a call, and it is told to her that your stepbrother has been missing for a long time. The man who called Kim tells him that I am the caretaker of the building where your brother lives. And now you guys come and take your brother's stuff. Then the next day, Kim reaches that building. This building was the same as what we saw in the beginning. Leaving his wife and children outside, he goes to his brother's flat to take his stuff. Here he gets more stuff than his brother's stuff. For example, some women's and children's clothes, shoes, and 2 toothbrushes. He felt strange to see this. That's why he calls the caretaker and asks, "Did anyone else live here with my brother? Because I got this kind of stuff from his flat." Then the caretaker says, "No, no one. He used to live alone." Now Kim goes to the homes of the people around him to get more information. Here he notices a very strange thing. There are strange signs near everyone's bell. By talking to people about this, he finds out for what purpose these signs are made. These signs are actually about who lives in the house. That is, how many men, how many women, and how many children are there. There were such signs outside his brother's flat. When Kim's family was sitting in the car outside, they saw the game at a shop and insisted on playing it. Now that it was a new place, his mom was refusing them. But when the kids don't listen, she lets them go, and she herself starts calling her mom. Now, after disconnecting the call, when she looked outside, the children had disappeared from there. She was very scared. She comes out quickly and starts looking for her children everywhere. When she comes to her car to look for them, she sees that the children are stuck in it with a madman. She was telling that man to get out of the car in anger, but he started arguing with her. A neighboring woman, whose name was Juhi, came here, and she ran away with that madman from the car. Kim had also come here in the meantime, and when he sees that this woman, Juhi, has saved my family, he thanks her. Now, Juhi takes this family to her flat and gives them coffee. She asks Kim, "You seem to be very rich people, so what have you come to do in such a place?" Then Kim tells me that my brother lives in a flat in this building. Now, after hearing Kim's brother's name, Joo-hee suddenly starts behaving strangely with them and forcibly starts throwing them out of her house. Although Kim also tries to talk to him about what happened, is there any problem? Why did you suddenly start behaving like this with us? Then she just says, you make your brother understand. Because he keeps an eye on me and my daughter, he troubles us a lot. After hearing such things about his brother, Kim decides that I will stay in my brother's flat for a few days so that I can know the truth. He sends his children home with his wife. After a while, we see him in the washroom of his brother's flat. Suddenly, he heard a strange noise. When he came out to check, there was no one there. He felt strange. As soon as he started checking his coat to make a call, he saw that the mobile was missing from there. He thinks that the main door is locked. Then who must have come inside? Who stole my mobile? With this thought, he started checking the whole flat, where he found a secret way. When he went on that road, he came to the nurse's flat, from which we understood that the neighbor of the nurse who was talking to him was no one else but Kim's brother. And his suspicion was right. After I leave, that neighbor comes here. Kim's wife was going back home with her daughter from school. When she was in the parking area, there was a man in a helmet standing in front of her. Then, as soon as she went in the lift, the man in the helmet also got on the lift with her. Now, as Kim's wife got down on one floor, the man in the helmet noticed. And in this way, he had seen which flat she lived in. Kim's wife had a parcel, which she came out of the building to take. And when she was alone at home, the man in the helmet came to her door and started knocking. When Kim's wife opens the parcel, she is surprised that it is completely empty. Then the girl calls her mother and tells her that there is someone outside the door who has been knocking for a long time. Her mother explains that, son, I am just coming and will not open the door at all. The man in the helmet puts his hand inside through the small hole made in the door. He opens the lock and tries to get inside, but fails. While Kim's wife is running away, she also comes back to her flat. As soon as he opens the door, the man in the helmet sees him coming from the upper floor and forcibly trying to get into his house. But as soon as Kim's wife stops him outside and also shouts for help, hearing his voice, a man came out of the flat in front of him. Seeing him, the man in the helmet runs away from there. About this, Kim was told immediately. He also came, and when the police came here, the building's cameras were checked, from which it was found that the man in the helmet was just following Kim's wife. He did not even see anyone else. Knowing this, Kim was surprised, and he tells the police that if this is the case, then I think the man in the helmet is my stepbrother. After this, Kim went to his lawyer, and from their talks, we found out who that stepbrother was. Actually, his stepbrother's mom and dad adopted Kim. And the surprising thing was that his mom and dad gave all their property to Kim instead of their son, while his stepbrother did not get anything. Although he was the real son of his mom and dad, his dad did this because when Kim and his stepbrother were young, his brother was accused of misbehaving with a girl. Now Kim knew that my brother was innocent, but still he lies and says that yes, the accusation against him is true. He really misbehaved with that girl. Kim did this because his stepbrother had a disease. Because of this, red marks used to form on his heart. And because Kim also had this problem that he did not like such things, he did not like his brother. And he lied. And that's why his dad also started getting angry at him. He also threw him out of the house. And this was the reason that he did not put any property on his name. So now Kim thinks that my brother is doing all this to take revenge on me. After troubling my family and meeting the lawyer, he came back to his flat. He sees that someone has made the same mark on his belt as it was on the door of his brother's flat. How many men, women, and children live in their house? Kim checks the whole building, where such marks were made on everyone's door. Kim's wife went to school to pick up her children, where she takes her son, but she found out about her son and that he has been going to school for a long time. She checks the camera of the building, where she found out that her son was playing in the park. But there was a problem because the man with the helmet was also present in the park. About this, she quickly tells Kim, and they both quickly go to the park. This time, Kim is successful in catching him. He also hits him a lot. But when he takes off his helmet, he finds out that he is not his brother, but some other boy. Due to all the circumstances, Kim was very upset. He takes a stick and goes to his brother's flat. But when he reached there was no one there. He gets upset, comes back to his car, and sits. That's when he finds another person wearing the same helmet who was going to the shop in front of him and whom he was following. The man with the helmet found out that he was following me. So he started running away from there, but Kim runs after him and catches him, where they both started fighting. When he also took off his helmet, he found out that he was not his brother, but a friend of the nurse at the beginning. After which, they both come to Kim's brother's flat and start talking. Here, the nurse's friend tells Kim that I had given my credit card to my friend's nurse. He has been missing for many months, but my credit card is being used a lot. They were both talking about how Kim's eyes went out at that time, where the man with the helmet was standing near that secret path. They both quickly ran after him and came to the nurse's flat. When these two were looking for him, Kim found the nurse's corpse in the cupboard, which was covered with blood on a plastic sheet. She comes and immediately falls on Kim, due to which he is very scared and starts screaming. Hearing his voice, the nurse's friend came there. And when he found out that my nurse friend was killed, he became very sad. But then the man with the helmet stabbed him in the back, due to which he was very injured. But the next moment, the man with the helmet hits him on the head and kills him. After which he now runs after Kim and continuously attacks him with a rod. Kim also ran after him with a knife at this time. Suddenly, a couple of rods hit Kim, but he still saved him and caught him. And these two started having a fierce fight. Kim comes on top of him and tries to remove the helmet to see who is the last one. But then that cunning man puts a knife in his leg to save his life, due to which Kim was so hurt that he left the man with the helmet. And now the man with the helmet was about to kill Kim with a knife. Then Kim picks up the brick there and hits him on his helmet, and quickly saved his life and came to a flat that belonged to that woman, Juhi. At that time, Juhi was not at home, but her younger daughter was there, who had a bad eye. Here Kim cures his wounds, and because his mobile was turned off, he asked Juhi's daughter for a phone, and the girl took him to a room where there were a lot of women's purses, children's toys, and a lot of phones. The girl brings one of them to Kim, which is Kim's phone, which had disappeared from his coat when he was at his brother's flat. Kim is surprised and asks the girl, "Where did you get this phone from?" Then the girl says that this phone was given to me by my mother. Hearing this, Kim understood the whole thing. That is, the one who kills everyone wearing a helmet is no one else but this girl's mother, Juhi, and the people's stuff lying there were all her victims. Knowing this, Kim falls to the ground after getting dizzy. But when his eyes went in front, she saw her brother's corpse, which was covered in blood just like a nurse's corpse. Before he could do anything, Juhi, wearing a helmet, also came here and attacked Kim's head with a strong rod, which made him unconscious. Thinking him dead, Juhi takes all his stuff. Kim's wife was packing her stuff because she was sending her children to her mother's house in America. Outside the building, we see Juhi, who was going to Kim's wife's flat with her daughter. Sitting in the car, Kim's wife remembers that she forgot to take the medicine, so she came back to the flat to take the medicine. She was about to take the medicine when Kim's call came to her because he was alive. At that time he was unconscious. He tells his wife the whole truth. The man wearing the helmet is not a man but a woman, and that too, no one else but Juhi. So you quickly empty the bag and get out of there because she must be coming there. Now, before his wife could run away from there, Juhi comes there, attacks him with a rod, and makes him unconscious. Then Juhi goes to the parking area where her daughter was sitting in the car. She told the children to open the door, but she was smart. Do not open the door. Juhi remembers that the car key is with me, which she took after making Kim unconscious, with the help of which she opened the car and entered. And she tries to kill the children too. But the children leave the car very cleverly and start running away from there. Kim had also come to the parking area, but he could not run very fast because his leg was injured. Both the children had already come to their flat while escaping from Juhi, but she also followed and came inside. In a little while, Kim also comes to the flat. Before he could reach his children with a rod, Juhi attacked him. She then climbed on top of him. She hits him so much at places that Kim also becomes unconscious, after which she again runs after the children. At the same time, Kim also regains consciousness, and he calmly stops her and explains to her, "Look, you want this house, wealth and money, then you keep it all. But please don't do anything to my family, leave them, let them go from here." Juhi also listens to him, and here her story is about to be told. That's why the door knocks, because the police have come there. Because of this, she got scared. Again, she attacks Kim, strangles him, and tries to kill him. A little while ago, Kim saw that the petrol had leaked and spread all over the house. That's why he takes a lantern. He takes a lantern and sets it on fire there. As the fire spreads, it spreads all over the house. Juhi was very scared to see the fire because it was very close to her and her clothes were also burning. She tries to put water and extinguish the fire, but she was completely covered in the fire. She burns completely and dies. That's why the police opened the door and came in. And while taking care of this whole situation, she also saves this family. The next day, it was shown that this family was absolutely fine. Kim has left his flat, where a new family is shifting. Because Kim was shifting to America with his whole family forever. After this, we see that in a closet in that flat, Juhi's daughter is still hiding. Mom, let me tell you one thing. In the beginning, Juhi's target was not a nurse, but Kim's brother. But when the nurse came and threatened to call the police, she got scared. She also killed the nurse. After which Juhi used their two flats, because where she used to live before, the police came there. Because of which she had to vacate that flat. Then Juhi made Kim and his family her targets. She did this with a lot of people. She used to kill people and steal everything from them. Now she is dead, so maybe this evil will end. Otherwise, her daughter is still alive, through whom this series will continue. This movie ends here. Thank you for watching.